Hi bestie! In today's video, I'm going to work on my paycheck budgets and plus my $10 IOU. So if any of that interests you, let's go ahead and get started. Hi bestie, welcome to my channel. My name is Miss Frugal, also known as Karen. We're going to close out my previous budget first and then we're going to go ahead and get to my next budget. Alright, so for my paycheck budget, I do have my spreadsheet here. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Alright, so all the actual amounts for my income to carry forward from the previous week, 117 is right. And then my website, and I need to go ahead and add $60 to this. Last week I did receive $50 to go towards my Christmas and July savings challenges, but I had realized when I had condensed the money from my sinking funds, I was over by $10. So I did do an IOU to add the $10 back to my sinking funds. And since I went ahead and cashed up $60 for that particular challenge, that's why I'm going to put $60 here to cover that. Okay, so let's add these totals all up together so I can get my final income for this paycheck. Alright, so it comes up to $413.89, and the $60 helped me to be under budgeted for this particular paycheck. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get to my bills and expenses. Now, I had wrote down the gas that I had purchased during this week here, but the money was taken from my cash wallet. So I'm going to zero that amount out because it's not actually coming from this income. And so I did end up cash stuffing this particular week the $75 for groceries and the $25 for household. So we're going to add those two amounts together with my Prime bill. And I'm just so glad that I was able to reduce that bill by $8. So I do have $8 savings with that particular bill. So I'm just absolutely thrilled about that. And I need to look through other things that I'm paying for to see if I can reduce it. Okay, so all of those together comes up to $106.99. All right, and that's for my bills and expenses together. All right, so now let's get to my savings for the week to total this up to see how much I saved for the week. All right, so that's $140 there. But I do need to add in the $60 that's not included. Alright, I messed up. And it should come up to be $200. Alright, so I was able to save $200 last week. Okay, so now that I've updated each section, I need to add my totals at the bottom just to have a summary of how I've done overall in each category versus budget and actual. As I stated earlier, with my budget, because I did receive that extra money, I under budgeted, but that's fine because I didn't overspend. And then, cause my bills and expenses are less than what I had budgeted for. And let's see what my remaining balances will be now that I have the totals for each section. So for the budget part, I keep messing up. But for the budget part, my remaining balance is $104.49. And because my income does fluctuate a lot, that's why I don't really do zero-based budgets. Like, I didn't know I was getting that $60. So my actual difference is $106.92. And whenever I have a balance, that will be carried forward to my next paycheck. But my income is less. As you can see, my actual is higher. And the difference between those two is the $60. And that's the money that I wasn't expecting. And for my bills and expenses, the difference is, I think it's the gas amount. Yep, it's the gas, because I do track my cash envelopes. Alright, and my savings difference is that $60 that I had received for my savings. So of course the remaining total should be that $2.43. But yeah, I haven't done the zero base. Now I did try it recently. This month was the first time I've done it, but because my income fluctuates so much, I don't do the zero base, but I will carry forward the balance to the next paycheck. And I like to have that cushion there of that balance, so if something comes up, I can use that to cover something as it comes. Let me note that this is the gas. Alright. So I think I did good, and I'm glad that I was able to save more than what I actually budgeted. So I was able to save $200. That's because I did receive $60. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start my new budget. And I'm definitely going to start off with my carry forward amount first. And I did receive a few sales on my website as well as the Etsy shop. If you did place orders on either of those pages, I want to thank you so much, because you didn't have to. And I greatly appreciate your support. Alright, so let's get the carry forward amount. Alright, let me go ahead and add that here. And this is budgeted and actual. And like, I'm not going to total each section or category on my paycheck budget until I'm ready to close out, because I'm not sure if I will receive some money from someone or somewhere that I can include with my income. So I won't be totaling up like the actuals. Alright. So I've added my website, $25.50, and I got $8 on the Etsy. Okay, so now let me get my calculator so I can add these amounts up together to see how much my income will be for this particular week with the carry forward amount. Alright, so it's $140.42. So I'm going to write this down for the budgeted amount, just in case if I have to make any adjustments later to the actuals. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get to my bills. Alright, let's go here to see what I have left over for the month. Alright, so I have Canva. Canva is $12.99. And that is an actual amount. Okay, and QuickBooks. QuickBooks is $29.56. And I was able to reduce that a little bit. It's not much, but a couple of dollars a few months ago. But any savings that I can get, I would take it. Okay? And I won't be cash stuffing my wallet for this week because I do have money left over and I don't need anything that I can think of at the moment. So let's add these totals up. Alright, so these come up to be $42.55, and I'm gonna write it under the budgeted. Alright, so now that I have my income and my bills and expenses, I can deduct this amount to determine what my remaining balance is. So that leaves me with $97.87 that I can apply to saving challenges. And I did go to the bank and I do have $80. So I actually pulled out $90, but the $10, I ended up adding that to my home sinking funds because I had an IOU from last week when I did my Christmas savings challenge. So I'm going to just write a budget for savings for $90 here. I'm not going to go ahead and allocate which challenges that I work on, but I will update my actual as I do the different savings challenges. Alright, so you know what guys, I wrote 80 down for my savings, but I think I should still put the $90 here because I did take $90 out the bank. And then I need to make a notation that $10 went towards that IOU I had to make it more accurate. So I need to change my total from 80 to 90 here as well. Alright, so now that I've updated that, let me get the calculator so I can come up with my remaining balance. I think it'd be like $7. I think that's what it should end up being total. Let's see. Okay, so now that I updated that, the total, the remaining balance is what, $7.87. And this is my budgeted side here. But yeah, that's cool. Alright, so I did all of my different categories, but I do want to add a notation for that IOU. And I want it to stick out so it can catch my eye. Just in case if I'm flipping through my planner. So let me get a sticker where I can make a note for that $10 IOU. Yeah, I know I got to have some kind of note on here. Just in case if I'm ever flipping back that it will stand out and make me look at it. Okay, so let me put the $10 here and explain what that $10 is that I've added to here. So I've been trying to decide, should I use highlighters or stickers? And because I've been thinking about it for a while, should I start using highlighters? Because I do have highlighters, but I don't even use them. But I said, you know what, since I've been using stickers all along to make my notes for things can stick out, I'm just going to go ahead and stick to my handy dandy stickers. But guys, that's all I'll be doing today. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule to join with me as I walk through my paycheck budget. If you have any questions, leave that in the comments. And thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have an awesome day. Toodles.